Now on CoastTV News.
Sussex County Democratic Chair Jeff Balk has stepped down. What led to his resignation and what party leaders are split on their support. Melissa is making landfall. What island nations are doing to prepare for this massive hurricane.
And Melissa's setting some records in the Atlantic Basin as the system makes its approach to Jamaica. The latest on where it's heading and the latest on our storm here on Delmarva and what you can expect for the rest of the week.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is Tuesday, October 28th. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. As we speak, Hurricane Melissa making landfall. Hurricane Melissa now a Category 5 hurricane. This is video now from the eye of the storm. It was recorded by the U.S. Air Force Reserves group known as the Hurricane Hunters, and they actually had to get out of there because conditions were just that treacherous. Now the storm is forecasted to be the worst storm in the island's history. Taking a look now into our own waters here at home this morning. This is the view from the Lewis Yacht Club. It looks pretty gray and dismal out there. We're joined now by our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono. And Chris, there has been a lot of talk surrounding this storm in the Caribbean and this storm here at home. Good morning, Chris.
Yes, and both of those are two separate entities. Let me make that clear. This system is not going to be impacting Delmarva, but on the other hand, yes, this system is making its approach to Jamaica, and just incredible numbers from the hurricane hunters that picked up these readings early this morning. Still moving very slowly to the northeast at 9 miles an hour. More incredibly, sustained winds of 185 with gusts to 220, and even more incredible, the pressure below 900, 802 millibars, making it the third strongest storm in the Atlantic Basin from a central pressure standpoint. You could see the system, massive system, making its way. You could see the northern eye wall beginning to push ashore. Now the system will actually push back over the Caribbean Sea as a Category 4 hurricane, making a second landfall into Cuba. Then we will see more of a landfall there in the southern Caribbean before the system pushes out the sea and could impact portions of Bermuda into the end of the week. Now you can see the strongest pressures as far as the Atlantic Basin is concerned, and Melissa now tying the Labor Day hurricane of 1935 with a central pressure of 882. Now we will talk more about that coming up, and we'll talk more about our weather here on Delmarva coming up in that full forecast. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Now back here at home, a story that we first told you about on Monday. It's the resignation of Jeff Balk, the now former chair of the Sussex County Democratic Party. That resignation comes after news broke that Balk was convicted of sodomy in Missouri. That was in the 1980s. Now, according to Missouri court documents, Balk was sentenced to 10 years in prison for those charges. Additionally, in 1988, newspaper articles from St. Louis Dispatch, it says Balk was also charged with 11 counts of first-degree deviant sexual assault and 1 count of felony theft. According to the newspaper, Balk confessed to paying and engaging in sex with 5 boys ages 13 to 15. That was between 1984 and 1986. While Balk did not respond for our request for an interview, he posted Sunday night on Facebook saying in part, quote, "I am stepping down to ensure that I do not become a distraction to the candidates who are running in the 2026 cycle." This now brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what level of trust do you have in Sussex County politicians? So far, these are the results. 5% saying a lot, 22% saying somewhat, 34% saying none, and 39% saying that it depends on what party. So if you haven't voted yet, you can still do so at coasttvnews.com or on the mobile app. In Lewis, the city is taking the next steps in Delaware's property tax reassessment and its use and implementation in the Sussex County values. Now, here's what that includes: the regulation demanding new assessments and tax rates to result in revenue neutrality for 1 year, and a proposed homestead reduction, an overview of proposed implementation. Now, that generally is a property tax reduction on a homeowner's primary residence. According to the agenda, the Lewis Finance Committee could take action on this today. The Seaford Police Department now investigating a hit and run that left a 68-year-old pedestrian in some critical conditions. Now, officers were called to the area that's on your screen now. That's West Dean Highway and Porter Street. That was around 7:30 last night after a man was hit by the driver's side mirror of a Lincoln Navigator. The victim was taken to the local hospital, then airlifted to Christiana Hospital. Police say the SUV slowed down briefly before taking off, and police say the vehicle may be missing part of its driver's side mirror and has some significant damage. Coming up on Coast TV News Midday after the break, it's cotton candy for a cause, how one family turned their daughter's sweetest joy into a legacy of love.
And as we take a live look into Ocean View, gloomy skies, very cool and raw day out there with those winds gusting upwards of 40 miles an hour at the coast. It's going to be a windy afternoon with scattered showers developing. We have our umbrella winner, Gay Jones, Milton, Delaware. You're the winner of our Coast TV weather umbrella. Coming up, we will talk about some stormy weather in the days ahead. My full forecast in minutes.
For a lot of people, being a parent is hard enough all on its own. But for those that are parents and dealing with a child that has some disabilities, doing everyday normal tasks, which are hard enough, can seem almost impossible. In this week's Ties That Bind Us, reporter Emma Aiken shows us how one family turned their pain into purpose to help out others.
Making cotton candy. Gia and Tone Love say the sweet treat became a favorite of their daughter, Sanaya.
She grabbed my cotton candy from a fair that I went to, and she snatched it and put it in her mouth, and she started going, ah, like it's good, and it melted in her mouth. She didn't have to chew it. It wasn't hard for her, and she was so happy.
Sanaya was born with a rare condition called microcephaly, which caused her to have cerebral palsy, autism, and epilepsy. So as you can imagine, eating most foods wasn't easy. But cotton candy was different, except after trying the treat, Sanaya had an allergic reaction, which her doctors say were probably artificial dyes. But the Loves weren't giving up.
What's a mother to do? I figured out how to make it organic, where it's less sugar in it than a can of soda, a box drink for kids. There's no artificial flavors, there's no dyes, there's no preservatives in it. It's as good can get.
In 2020, Sanaya passed away from her condition just shy of her 12th birthday.
So after that, we decided we were going to help families of parents that have children that have special needs all through Delaware with services that we couldn't get.
So the Loves started a nonprofit called Run Sanaya Run. And the money made from the Loves LLC, Nana's Candy Clouds, goes directly to the nonprofit.
People, I guess, just assume if you have special needs child, you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
You have support systems in place, but it's just not true. There's many people who have children with, special needs that need assistance of some kind or another.
That's what Run Sanaya Run does. It facilitates those needs for families to help make their lives easier.
I think until you really serve, you don't realize that serving is better than being more rewarding than being serviced. And I will say, and us doing this now, how much joy we get from just helping others.
Every purchase serves a purpose. And now Sanaya's smile lives on in every swirl of cotton candy and every life touched by Run Sanaya Run. For the Ties That Bind Us, I'm Emma Aiken.
Hurricane Melissa is going to continue to make headlines here. Just an incredible storm as it continues to intensify on its approach to Jamaica. And you can see that northern eye wall beginning to make landfall just to the west of Black River. Sustained winds 185 miles an hour, wind gusts 220 with a pressure of 892. Just incredible, marking the third highest hurricane as far as from a pressure standpoint, lowest pressure standpoint in the Atlantic Basin. Expecting another landfall here through Wednesday into Cuba, and then it will make its way into the southern Bahamas before potentially impacting Bermuda, but it will stay away from the east coast. Cambridge, partly to mostly cloudy skies there. It's been a pleasant morning there so far, 55 degrees there, but you can see those winds sustained anywhere from 18 in Ocean City to 31 Indian River Inlet. It's been a windy morning, gusting right now to 37 Indian River Inlet and 39 in Ocean City. Temperatures have held relatively steady through the morning. We're at 52 Milford, 58 in Long Neck. We do have a coastal flood advisory that has just been issued for Sussex County. This runs through Thursday at 8 o'clock, so we're going to go through multiple high tide cycles here over the next 2 days, so we could deal with up to a foot of inundation in those low-lying areas. Gale warnings continue for the entire Delmarva coast through Wednesday. We have high surf advisory through Thursday as well. Could be dealing with waves as high as 11 feet, and then we have that wind advisory as well as coastal flood advisories through Accomack County. That is where we've seen the showers so far through the morning, is across Accomack County. The heaviest rain is going to stay off the coast as this area of low pressure continues to get more organized high to the north, suppressing the system to the south, but that tight pressure gradient is causing those strong winds today. Few nuisance showers are going to be developing through the afternoon into the evening. Yellow alert for Thursday for the threat of heavy rain and isolated damaging winds. And yes, hold on to your candy because we're going to be dealing with some high winds on Halloween. We are going to be mostly cloudy through the afternoon with a few spotty showers developing. There's those winds really cranking through the afternoon, 30, 35 mile an hour gusts. It'll still be breezy into Wednesday with gusts to 30, but watch as we go into Thursday morning. Those winds really crank out of the southeast, gusting as high as 45 to near 50 miles an hour as that stronger system approaches. As I mentioned, a few scattered showers developing through the afternoon and into the evening as far as showers are concerned into the overnight. This rainfall is not going to be that heavy into Wednesday, and then by Wednesday afternoon, more isolated showers. It's not until Wednesday night through Thursday we'll deal with that more potent area of low pressure to our west. That's going to swing in some very strong winds as well as some heavy rain. Even a rumble of thunder, damaging winds are possible as well into Thursday morning. It's a quick hitting system because it is out of here by Thursday evening. Rainfall total on the average of 1 to as high as 3 inches by Thursday afternoon. We clear things out just in time for the trick-or-treaters on Halloween. It will be a breezy Halloween with gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour. Don't forget to set those clocks back an hour going to bed Saturday night, and a mostly sunny weekend with highs around 61.
And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 8:30 p.m. UMES hosts North Carolina Central in women's volleyball. Then catch that final score at 10:30.
Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far here along coastal Delmarva. And if you join us today at 4 on Coast Life, here's what's cooking. We've got another dish of the week for you, another delicious shrimp dish. And don't forget, if you go to Benvenuto, tell them you saw the dish of the week on Coast Life. You get 10% off your dish of the week order. We've also are going to be hanging around Georgetown. Maybe you saw some scarecrow familiar faces. We're going to get the backstory on that as well. All of that and so much more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
A paving project in Dewey Beach will focus on side streets off of Coastal Highway. DelDOT says work is expected to start on Monday and continue through the end of the year between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's from King Charles Avenue to Collins Street. The agency says drivers should expect delays and some parking restrictions. In Lewis, the cost of waste and recycling could see action later today by the city's finance committee. They're looking at continuing a second trash pickup during the busy season on a subscription basis. Also, a tipping fee for extra containers, and if enacted, that would bring in about $19,000 annually and require all short-term rental properties to subscribe to the seasonal second pickup service. Those are just 3 of several items on the recommendation document at today's meeting. Dunkin' demands what the coffee chain wants from Milton town officials. That's up next after the break on CoastTV News Midday. Happening today in Milton, the Board of Adjustment is expected to discuss a resolution regarding a service window for the proposed Dunkin'. At a public hearing in September, the Planning and Zoning Commission's approved designs for the window to be 32 feet from parking aisles, opposed to the minimum 60 feet that the town requires. And some people that we spoke to who live in Milton have some mixed opinions on what the new store could bring to the town, while other than the obvious, coffee.
I understand there's a demographic that is bummed because of that, but I also think growth is it's inevitable, so we might as well embrace it.
How are they getting out from there back onto 16? What's that going to do with the traffic on 16?
Earlier this month, the Milton Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously voted in favor of the final site plans presented for Dunkin' Donuts. Now, that drive-through would be located at 403 Broadkill Road.
Well, we could see some wave heights up to 11 feet down through Ocean City on points southward. A gloomy, windy day, 58 degrees, and we'll see a few scattered showers later on this afternoon through the evening hours as we top out in the upper 50s. You get your latest forecast, as always, by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next.
New overnight, scandalous turn of events in a story that we brought you Monday. Now, Chris, yesterday we broke this news that there were 2 pregnant capybaras at the Cape May County Zoo. Now there's just 1. But that's because Buttercup has since welcomed 2 healthy pups. Congratulations to Buttercup and the dad, Goomba. He is the father of actually both of those capybaras. And get this, Chris, they were sisters. Wow. So stay tuned because we're still waiting on Sister Marigold to welcome in her little ones. The zoo says that's going to be in the coming weeks. So hold your horses, Chris.
I like the dad's name, Goomba.
Goomba.
Goomba. I like Italian. Friends. Represents friends.
There you go.
As we take a look at the 10-day forecast, we are seeing a cloudy day on the peninsula. Not expecting a whole lot of rain over the next 24 hours. Just kind of intermittent showers. The winds is really going to be the story, as well as the surf really kicking up. Temperature around 58 today. We're mostly cloudy for our Wednesday, isolated showers. Then we see a more potent storm system roll in Wednesday through Thursday. We have the yellow alert in play for Thursday morning. Could be dealing with winds as high as 50 miles an hour with heavy rain. It's a quick hitting system because it's out of here by Thursday evening, and we're looking dry but very windy for Halloween. We could see gusts as high as 40 miles an hour, and then we are looking at a pretty nice weekend, actually pretty similar to the weekend we just experienced, with mostly sunny skies and temperatures around 61. And we're going to need that extra hour of sleep there Saturday night and Sunday.
Oh,
right?
Chris, you are taking the words out of my mouth. That sounds like it'll be a really nice for the trick-or-treaters, nice for some Halloween, but we got to get all this yucky, nasty weather out of the way. Chris and I were saying earlier, it is perfect nap weather.
Exactly.
So go ahead, take your nap. Thank you for joining us here on CoastTV News Midday. And after the nap, you can join us for more local news and weather by first downloading our CoastTV News app and then joining us back here at 5 o'clock later this afternoon. And until then, have a great day.